Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the Canggu Chickie herself, Sandy Reevy.
Hi, everybody from Bali, Ubud, Bali.
Yes, it is episode 246 and April 10th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, today, Venus, ingress Gemini.
Social intelligence.
Sandy's favorite day, Tuesday, April 11th, Venus trine Pluto.
Cultivate your life.
And Sun conjunct Jupiter.
This is why it's my favorite. Abundant promises.
And Friday, April 14th, Venus square Saturn.
Keeping it real. Isn't there a song?
Then in Talisman time, Sandy has finished up 2 talismans we're going to discuss, as well as our talisman of the month is the Venus and Taurus Celestial Mala and Bracelet on sale. And on the horizon, we have our April forecast, a CWS webinar coming up, and more retreats. Then in our house, tune in to hear how the Bali retreat is going. So we will inform all of you, and stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intelligence.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you.
Did I really just say astrological intelligence? Okay.
Well, because it's first on Monday, as everybody's listening to this, it's social intelligence.
Yes.
And so
yes. I
that
think
just was a roll of the tongue.
It was a roll of the tongue. So remember, we are astrological intentions. And hello, Canggu Chickie.
I am going to Canggu today on a scouting trip.
Right, because next year you're going to be coming back for an extended period of time.
If you haven't been to Bali, you haven't been to Bali. Has anybody ever said that?
I'm sure. Very, very astute of you.
I've been reading Socrates and Plato.
Wow.
Right.
So philosophical.
No, but Canggu is an area, it's kind of like a neighborhood you would in Bali.
It's a beach.
It's a beach town, but not close to Ubud.
No.
As far as an island goes.
Probably 40 minutes, an hour.
It'll be an hour drive. We're scouting out a new location for a few things.
Yay. So let's move into the transits. This is going to be a short week, but we start off with Monday, April 10th. Today, Venus ingress Gemini.
This is social intelligence.
Or astrological intelligence.
Or it could be, social intentions.
Yes.
This is, Venus, the planet of love, beauty, art, connections, friendships, love, is going into, she's coming out of her Taurus sign, which is Earth fixed, and moving into the next sign of Gemini, which is air. And going into Gemini, as I was mentioning, is the, mutable air. So Venus is in this variable, going kind of in an air place of the mind and of rationality and making sense of something and having the curiousness in that social intelligence, sharing information with friends, sharing information, and maybe these are deep-seated love connections with those that you love. Tell people that. Maybe you're so curious that you join a dating site, right? This is Venus and Gemini. When did the two of you meet and fall in love? Well, when Venus was in Gemini, we transcended the boundaries of Earth and spoke over air, right? Through the air, and became connected that way.
And I'm hoping that because I'm going to open up a little bit of time this day for our testimonials. Anyone that has been on the retreat, I wanted to give them the opportunity if they wanted to share some thoughts about the retreat.
Timing. Yeah, perfect timing. Yeah.
So let's move on to your favorite day, Tuesday, April 11th.
Right, there are 2 things going on this day. And I like them both. There isn't a controversy of I like this but don't like that.
Right.
And whenever there's a favorite day of mine and we're having an easy transit and then a more challenging one, this is nice on both ends. The first one is Venus making a trine to Pluto.
Right.
At the 0 degrees of where Pluto is sitting, 0 degrees of Aquarius. And if you've been following us for a while, man, it's been more than 2 years now that this 0 degrees of Aquarius is impacted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and of course we know that Pluto just got here a couple weeks ago, and Pluto will retrograde here. So Pluto is here for majority of the year. And so this is about cultivating your life. You know, Venus making this this nice, easy, harmonious aspect to Pluto is being moral, being ethical in your relationships. Allow hidden issues a breath of fresh air.
Mm.
You know, they don't have to be soggy and wet and moldy and, you know, fermenting for, you know, icky smells. But bring all this up into the open for fresh air, and anything can, you know, dissipate and with some fresh air. So see this as a cooperating agreement, a cooperating light, right? Like we both know it, we're both understanding it. Let's bring it up. It's a trine, so it should be easy to work through any you know, cultivating your life. Again, you know, it's kind of like we were watching when we walked through
the ridge walk here in Bali. We came upon a couple farmers that were cultivating the rice paddies.
Right. And what were the egrets?
I think they were kingfishers.
Oh, the birds.
I think so.
Yeah, there was a bunch. We were walking through the rice paddies on the way to Pyramids of Chi.
They were loving it because with cultivating those rice paddies, it was kind of mixing up the mud and all of those little critters that are in there. The birds were ecstatic, just hanging around, watching and waiting. And
was that knee deep into the mud? The birds were, but it's that kind of thing. It's like working together to dredge up the bottom so that it can bring fresh air, bring the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second transit, the Sun conjunct Jupiter transit.
Yeah, this is a new and exciting abundant promises. The Sun comes upon Jupiter every year, wherever Jupiter is transiting in the transit chart. This year, Jupiter is in Aries. Last year, Jupiter was in Pisces, and Sun came around and met up with Jupiter in Pisces. The year before, it was Aquarius, right?
Mm-hmm.
And going backwards. But now the Jupiter in Aries, the Sun's coming up. This is the day it meets on this Tuesday, the 11th of April. But the Sun is exalted in Aries, right? So the Sun has more of a reverence here than Jupiter. When the Sun met up with Jupiter in Pisces last year, Jupiter was in Pisces, ruler of Pisces. Sun wasn't. This time it's a switch. Sun is important here. So the Sun, it's called the Sun receives Jupiter into his exaltation. And this happens once every 12 years, and it's happening this day. That's why it's my favorite day.
Mm-hmm.
And as we depart from Bali, we are renewed.
Yeah.
So find your renewal button. You know, it's not the default button in your life. It's not like what you've known. It's what is new. Go to the forward button, because everybody should have a forward button on their body computers. Right. I'm talking to you.
Progress.
I'm like, Alex, isn't that true? Isn't that true? Progress. Yeah. So feel renewed, because hopefully the weather in parts of the United States is improving and getting
feelings
warmer
of spring
and hopefully
springing forth.
Some of the rain and tornadoes and all of that maybe might start calming down. That'd be great. But let's talk quick about a little bit of weather here in Bali. That we felt the earthquake in the middle of the night.
Oh, that's right. There was a 4.5 magnitude earthquake in the middle of the night, around 2:26 in the morning.
AM.
And it was surreal, because I am a very deep sleeper, but somehow the shaking, it was enough to kind of blur your vision a little bit. You know, kind of everything was trembling, and so, you know, in the dark of the night, everything, the mosquito nets, everything was kind of shaking and tremoring. So it was like a surreal moment.
I woke up because I thought somebody was shaking my bed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got, okay, nobody's here shaking my bed. Is someone trying to get a hold of me? Right? Like that was where my intuition was going. And so I got up and grabbed the my phone thinking, because we are on the 11, 12, 13-hour difference from
Right.
the people that, family members and such in America. I was like, is somebody trying to get a hold of me and the universe is rocking my bed to wake me up to get to the phone because I'm missing calls that I need to get? And it said, no, I wasn't missing any calls. And I lay back in bed and I thought, what was that? And I grabbed my phone because I had taken it back to bed with me. And I'm like, was there an earthquake just here in Bali a second ago? And they said, yes, it was a 4.4.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh my God. And the next morning at breakfast, I'm like, did anybody feel that? And they're like, is that what that was? I thought it was like a train going through, but there are no trains here. So,
Right.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
I think when I woke up to it, I knew what it was immediately, but I was also kind of second guessing myself, like, no, that couldn't be. But yeah, that happened.
That's a first. That's a first for me. That can be a last.
Yeah. So let's move into Friday, April 14th, Venus square Saturn.
Keeping it real. Doesn't Shaggy? I started listening to Shaggy some months ago again because I found an old CD.
He has a song called Keeping It Real.
Keeping it real. Like, just keep things real. Keep life real. Keep relationships real. Keep your job real. Keep life real. Face what looks like it could be difficulty by discussing it in detail. It's not that it's hard. It's just a reality that you can work through.
Mm-hmm.
Right? By, one of the big things we're talking about at the retreat here is just name it. Name it so that you can have a feeling. Often doesn't have a name. Like, I just feel this way. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, name it so that you can actually claim that you're feeling right now, good or bad, right? So,
And make it real.
Keeping it real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So-
I like that. And actually, too, this aspect, even though it's a square, it's Venus. Venus with, Venus the benefic, with Saturn the malefic. But it's with reception because, we know Saturn right now is in Pisces and Venus is exalted in Pisces. So this reception can actually help things to work out that may look really difficult, but they're really not.
Okay. So, yeah, it's going to be a short kind of week, but a good one.
A long week as I re-enter the keeping it real life.
Right. That it's definitely going to get real once you're back home and the jet lag sets in and the culture shock of
Go,
going,
go, go. Work hard, do this. Where's your status? Yeah.
Right.
Not here.
Yep. So let's move into talisman times where you have finished 2 BALI talismans, and I believe these both are sold again.
Yep. These are sold too.
So Monday, April 10th, to promote advancement.
I am seen for my creative natural effervescence. In a sense, I sit on my own throne of glory and charisma.
Beautiful. And same day, Monday, April 10th, to see.
My first eyes, along with my second eyes, can see what is in front of me and well beyond my mind's eye. I vision all that is seen and hidden.
Yeah. And also, don't forget that we do have our talisman of the month for April. That is the Venus in Taurus Celestial Mala and Bracelet. They are 10% off up until the end of April. And their affirmation is, I take pride in my value and beauty. Because that's that Venus in Taurus energy. And you picked it because Venus is in Taurus.
Right. And we made that in Bali.
Yeah, that's right. So let's move on to the horizon, where I'm just going to give everyone a quick reminder that our April forecast and PDF cheat sheets are ready for you and waiting on patreon.com. Head over, click the link in our show notes, or head over to patreon.com/chattingwiththestars. Also, April 26th, we will be having a CWS webinar. That's for the new eclipse season that is coming up very shortly. Sandy and Susan are going to be unfolding it for us, untangling all of the inner workings of this eclipse season. Also, in September, our 2023 Amargos Greece retreat is almost sold out. We have 1 spot left. And more information, quick information, is going to be if you can get one of those free 15-minute calls with Sandy and figure out what this Greece retreat could really offer you. Also, our dates for the 2024 Mexico retreat is January 6th through the 13th, as well as our 2024 Bali retreats. There's going to be 2 parts.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a first retreat, which is April 3rd to the 14th, and the second is April 23rd to May 1st. So if you want to spend a big, long month here, you are so welcome.
We'll be teaching different things during those times too, to make it that possibility.
Yeah. So let's move into our house, where we are kind of towards the waning parts of the Bali retreat.
And the moon is waning.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We just had a full moon. That was wonderful because we went to a full moon ceremony at Pyramids of Chi. It's a very Zen-like location in the middle of Bali. We took that ridge walk that we were discussing with when we passed over the farmers. We passed through tons of rice paddies, little warrens,
and
artists,
old artists that are just sitting in the fields at dusk. This man was working on a 5-month painting,
and some of them took up to a year. And there are these very beautifully intricate, and it's a very Balinese style because it's like, the perspective is very interesting. It's very vertical, but it shows many different scenes happening all at once.
That was my favorite. And he said it took a year to make. Just check this out. And so it was massive. I don't know what I could say. An arm's length. Put your arms out all the way.
At least like 6 feet by 4 feet.
4 feet. It would take up a whole